after the bowsprit, we had off the boat for a little while. We put it back up, and they wanted to shorten it a little bit so it fits the anchor properly.
All right, hold, tilt down.
Hold on, I gotta go out and tilt down?
Yeah.
So we ended up cutting about 4 feet off of it and reshaped it, put the roller assembly back on it, modified it to put a windlass. It's got an extended shaft that goes through the bowsprit and down below the deck.
Without anything organized yet at all, we could absolutely run the feeds up the clamp. Absolutely. And you could leave a coil right there for shower sump. You could leave a coil right there for the head. We could leave a coil right there for AC for this cabin, AC for that cabin, AC for this cabin, and so on. 2 shower sumps, 2 heads, lighting feeds, AC feeds. To ease our plumbing, if we can fit the common head for these areas on this side right here, that would be really, really nice. This is the time that, even in the absence of bulkheads and an established guest crew quarters in the forward end of the boat, we can absolutely start running wires for all of the systems that are going to be in this area. In fact, it's even easier. We'll leave big coils hanging on the walls here. When there are defined rooms here, those lines can come down for the various systems, but running the long runs all the way back to where the electrical panel is, it's time. The generators we loaded into the opening in the foredeck with the crane, and we've moved them back now into the engine room. They're sitting on their platforms that we built previously, and they're ready to, get other equipment and start coming in behind them.
Definitely come to me a little bit. We can flex it this way to get that through, and then I might come really tight here too, so we'll see what happens. So we got this crane that came down to help us put the main engine in and the generators in. We'll have it come back when it's time for the gyro. The hole in the top deck there is only so big, so we've got to kind of tweak and twist things to get them into where they want to go.
A little further down.
I don't know if we're going to get clear back here by that time, but I can spin it real quick and try it.
It's a traditional crane and spotter operation where there's one person up on top of the boat giving hand signals to the fellow that's running the crane. And occasionally we use radios, but a lot of times it's too loud for that. So, ultimately it's that, there's still a lot of trust between the 2 members of that team.
What's that for?
It's over here.
Keep going down. Another inch and I'm clear.
Okay, coming down.
Another inch and I'm in. That's the tough part of the valve.
Yeah, we don't need that trim anyway.
Okay, come on down.
Down a little more. Once we got it down there, we put it on some wheels on the brackets for the engine mounts. I built a little runway to make a straight path through the boat to the engine room, and then 4 of us just manhandled it into the engine room.
Let me ask a question. What are we doing as far as braking? Because we're going downhill.
I know.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do as far as?
We're not going to let it exceed. We're going to go. We're going to be inching.
Is that a wheel wedge there?
It can be. We might want to.
I don't know, dude. That's
We might want
thousands of pounds.
We might
That's a
want to
piece
push
of
it
fur.
and put it this way.
Easy. That's a ramp right here.
Yeah. And it's actually just going to come
Straight at us.
It's not even a ramp.
All right, hang on. Let's pull this right.
We're having trouble moving the engine across. It was actually on a set of mounts, which were just too flexible for this 3,000 pounds of engine that was getting rolled, 15 feet down hills and up hills through the boat. So. Dan sanded, put some a little more solid wheels on it.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Wait, whoa.
What happened?
Going too much. We're okay.
I don't like that, man. I just don't want it to come flying down.
It's not gonna come flying. It's not gonna come flying.
Okay.
It's not gonna come flying.
Wait. Yeah, hold it right there. Hold it right there.
I think we want to run it right off the ramp.
We do.
Just keep going or else the ramp's going to pop up.
Yeah. Right.
It's the other direction.
This is Enticer's engine. What the hell's it doing?
Oh, darn.
Before, during, and after. Nice bong.
So on the port side here, this has already had a full couple rounds of primer. And then what happens next, the boat's been longboarded first and sanded and a couple coats of primer put on it. And then they come back with a rag with this stuff called Dykem Blue. And it's a process where you wipe on this blue dye and then you come back after that again and you sand the surface. And the highs will look like this and the lows will, this is where the blue was left, and it kind of gives you a baseline of what you got going on. Here's a prime example of, this would have been a high spot where the primer got sanded off, and then all around this were big low spots that have a little bit of filler in them that, again, the goal is to bring it all to one fair plane before paint. So you don't want to have a hull with all these big wavy imperfections in it, and then when you're sitting there looking at it at the dock, it looks like a mess.
It's twisting.
It's moving.
One wing go here. One wing go here. Put one here.
A wedge, you mean? Big
With a
wedges?
wedge,
Yeah.
And why is then they hitting underneath?
Yep.
I'm knocking the wedge underneath. So you can just tap it up.
Easy peasy.
Well, it will be too easy, you know.
Little bow thruster update. We've got the hull planking in place on one side.
We got ourselves a enormous hole saw, over 12 inches in diameter, which matched the diameter of the tube that we were supplied by the bow thruster vendor.
We were able to have a custom company make us a really big hole saw, and then we took our time and went nice and easy and kept checking the alignments.
I basically sat the saw inside the keelson and began the sawing there. So it was just hitting the bottom of the planking at first, and then as you get deeper and deeper into the planking, eventually the bottom of the planking hits the base of the saw before you're through the center. So we had to pull the saw out, take everything apart, cut that section off, and then start again. Because that angle is so far like this, 12 inches only comes to here, 12 inches to here, 12 inches to here, and as we went, when we bottomed out, we had to remove that section. But as far as keeping it centered, because we had the center drill and a center hole maintained, it was actually pretty easy. You know, it was a Jeff idea that really worked out. I thought it was going to flip me across the shop.
Want some gloves? See, the threads want to run with this. Yeah.
Judd devised the plan. Basically, It's a bag all around the outside of the edge of the bag that goes over this glassed area. Has this sticky stuff, we call it dum-dum. It's like almost like chewed gum, but it's sticky. So you put your glass on, then you put a plastic layer over that so nothing will stick to it. And then you put a little piece over that that has a bunch of little holes in it that lets the air flow all the way around your glue up. And then the bag comes, folds over and sticks all the way around the gluing, both sides. And then we put a compressor that sucks the air out of it. And we got it up to 21 pounds, which is really good. Anything over 7 is acceptable. That tube goes in between the bag and the boat and hopefully compresses it to such a degree so it's like having 100 clamps on there.
We could tape this